Do a brake fluid flush on the E39 over here, and as you can see, the brake fluid is black, and that explains why my pedal is so spongy despite new pads all around. It's going to improve my braking performance a lot. Along with new fluid, we have new front calipers. I don't know if I can tell you guys yet, but when I was replacing the front pads about a week ago, I noticed that the front passenger side piston was a little bit frozen, kind of seized up. And taking a look at the pads over here, these are the old pads, of course. So we have the driver's side over here, which you can see those were basically toast. There was nothing really left there at all. That's kind of why the wear sensor was going off. But then on the passenger side, we had these, which you can see there's quite a lot of meat left on these pads. So what's happening here is the dust boot's going to just come off the piston, which has allowed the piston to rust and seize. And when you try to push the piston back together, it doesn't want to compress. And we have uneven pad wear, so the other side wears a lot more than this side. And here is the new caliper over here with the fresh seals and all that kind of stuff. Piston should be all good. We're going to reuse the old brake lines for now, only because I didn't get the new ones because the new ones are actually on back order. So I'm going to wait till I get some stainless steel ones, which will be coming very soon from Spiero. Alrighty, so we replaced the brake line on one side already. As you can see, this side is already done with the new line. It's sitting nicely in there. I want to show you guys this side, the old line versus the new line. So the old line's all hardened up and it's kind of stuck to shape, and you can kind of see there's a small little cracking along here. It is basically due for a change for sure. This one is brand new, very flexible in comparison as a motorcycle drives by the neighborhood. But yeah, definitely due for a change. Like I said, I'll probably give you some stainless steel lines very soon. But for now, I'm not going to complain about this. I'm doing a fluid change anyway, so might as well change the lines. All right, back at Aiden's house. We got both the 5 Series over here. We are about to do some painting. He kind of knows what he's doing, not really, but I really don't know what I'm doing. So I bought this electric paint gun off of Amazon, and people say that's a terrible idea, like actual painters, and I'm sure it's not great.
No, he just hadn't heard of it before.
All right.
So I don't know if that's a good sign.
I mean, professional painters don't use those. We're not professionals. We're just a couple dudes trying to do something. So he's currently sanding his hood, and which needs some help. And I'm gonna take my bumpers off, and this should be easy to paint. But yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. This could be good, could be awful. Wow. Quick update. So I've got both my bumpers off now for paint. I've already scuffed up the front bumper, not the rear one yet. Just took it off. So I took the bumper off, and now I've decided it's a good time to delete the muffler, because that's what you do, right? So I'm gonna take the muffler off right now. I'm gonna cut it off and then see how it sounds. The forums say it sounds pretty good, and it doesn't have any drone, so why not? About to go back to Aiden's to put the bumpers back on. Let's see how she sounds. Still pretty quiet, not gonna lie, but I like that. This is my daily driver, so I want a little bit more sound, but I think too much. So I think this is perfect as it is. Once the cold starts down, you basically can't even hear it again, so it's perfect. Update. Currently working on the E39 over here. As you guys can see, I got the bumper back on, and all repainted and all that good stuff. This needs a good wet sand and compound and polish, but I've got these little guys painted up, and the PDC sensors are back in, all in place. As you can see here, not too bad, not looking too shabby. You know, not the best, not the most perfect work in the world, but it is better than nothing. All right, so there's a small little patch of what appears to be some sort of surface rust over here. It doesn't even go to this side, but it looks to be the fault of this seal. It's just not doing its job. So taking a good look around and just kind of making sure there is not any more of that. A critical flaw of these E39s as well is over in the gas cap area. There is no drainage hole for any water. So if you have any water that kind of comes in here from a rainstorm or even the mornings, just, you know, dew in the air and all that stuff, it'll build up here and it can eventually rot this part away. Now, luckily, we don't have any of that here, which is kind of surprising considering the car has been sitting outside, but we are in California, so perhaps it kind of helps out as well. In fact, definitely helps out, so thankful for that. I'm going to grind this stuff down real quick with the Dremel and then just put some paint over it and call it a day, and then put everything back together, and then we should have a basically fully done rear end. Also, I was debadging the trunk lid, and I'm going to polish and compound this, of course. But of course, you know, I was using my little rubber wheel to get some of the residue off, the majority of it, and of course, it just burned through the clear coat because it's so weak right now. So that is one more spot for me to touch up. So that's going to be awesome. But new badge has been ordered. This one is not cutting it anymore. Fun fact: this badge is actually the original badge that was on this car, which I've since replaced because there was some cracking, but I think I mentioned it when I got this car, there was no badge, so I decided this is better than nothing. Up front, more of the same. We've got these little bumper guards painted satin black, and then they have the PDC sensors back in. Did some wet sanding and compounding on those bumpers, a little bit dirty still from all the residue compound, so don't mind that. Now, I think I mentioned this, but this is our first time really painting anything, so it's kind of a good car to test it out with because the end result will be better than what it was before because it was just a black bumper no matter what. One small issue that we did come across that kind of was a mistake on our part is clearly we did this at night, so we couldn't really see what was going on. So you can kind of see down there, not of paint, which is understandable. And then over here, looks like we went through the clear coat and through the paint, so needs a touch up for sure. If we look even closer, you can really see how there's some black spots from the black bumper that just kind of pop through. So you know what? It is what it is, learning experience. I'm still gonna touch this up, make it look a lot better than it is right now. But still, you know, considering this is our first time and it was kind of in really, you know, outdoor conditions, I'm not mad about it at all. I think the rear one's gonna look a lot better because we put more clear coat now and more paint as well. So only one way to learn with these kind of things, I think, just by doing. So gonna keep going at it, and then, you know, at the end of the day, I'm gonna wrap this car this summer. So, you know, I kind of want to paint this hood, or at least touch up some areas as well. You guys can kind of see it's just all jacked up and has not stood the test of time. It's gotten worse in some areas, like over here. It also rains, so making it look a little worse, but I don't want these rust spots just hanging around and lack of clear coat, so we'll address that very soon. Gonna redo these wheels eventually as well, but that's very low down on the priority list. But I will kind of fix the stance a little before that. So these cars are pretty conservative when it comes to, you know, fitment. They're pretty sunken in. You can kind of see over there. There's not much going on with these beautiful style 42s. So I bought some spacers. I'm going to be spacing these wheels out a little bit, and hopefully it looks a little bit more aggressive without doing too much to it. Here's a good look at the car with the 20mm spacers all around. The front tire fitment is pretty solid, I'd say, and when the car is lowered, it's going to be even better. At the back, it is kind of the same thing. It looks really good, I think. Keep in mind my rear bumper's not installed properly, so it's not fully attached as it should be, but it does look pretty good, I must say. I'm gonna put a video clip here right now, but essentially the DVD player has not been working since I got the car. I kind of thought it was a lost cause, but we're checking some forums earlier, and it was like, yeah, you can like hit the side of it and kind of slap a little bit and it'll work again. And I was like, I tried doing that a while ago, but nothing happened. And my buddy was like, yeah, just like hit it really hard. So as a joke, you know, figuring this was junk, I took this mallet out. On my Instagram, I just kind of slapped it. I hit it pretty hard, actually, the side of it. And sure enough, this guy just popped right on out, and now it like fully works, which is pretty funny, I think. So if you have an E39 and your DVD player is stuck, take it from me, just hit it with a hammer on the side and it'll work. No way that worked. That basically wraps up this video for the E39 project. I know it's kind of a random video with a bunch of random parts, but you know, it's kind of all part of the process with this car. Less DIY focus and more of just getting stuff done as you can. In the next video, I'll be focusing more on M54 induction sounds, how to improve those without doing too much, along with doing some general maintenance, replacing intake boots and all that good stuff. If you guys like content like this with the E39, along with DIYs for Mercedes and other BMWs, leave a like and consider subscribing.